Hi, this is the South African Diplomat abroad. I'm Abdu-raof Hanslo. This is the voice of South Africans living abroad, and for those with our feet firmly planted in South Africa, this is a view of what South Africans are getting up to internationally. Today in the hot seat I'm sitting with Mr. Mahomed of Datacentrix. When we know the name, we're familiar with the name, but the one thing that comes up is IT when speaking about Datacentrix. Mr. Mahomed's going to clear that up for us today. We in Doha at the moment, and he's here with his team to explore opportunities in the region, and I must say, he's making some traction on this side after having a brief conversation with him. So we welcome Mr. Mahomed from Datacentrix, the CEO of Datacentrix, to the hot seat. Welcome, Mr. Mahomed.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No, it's only a pleasure. You know, we speak to many people, and we speak to a lot of business people, but the main focus on our side is always proudly South African. Proudly South African businesses coming to any country to create businesses and opportunities for us as South Africans, number one, and number two, flying that flag as high as possible. Your visit to Doha at the moment, but I think before we even go to your visit, if you can give us a bit of background as to who Datacentrix is and what exactly you do.
Well, as you've indicated, Datacentrix is an ICT company. We have three operating divisions. One plays in what we term as the plan and build, which is the deployment of infrastructure, from selling and deploying end-user devices right through to building massive cloud sort of infrastructure and data centers.
Yeah.
The second division manages that. That sort of infrastructure, and the third is around our application space and the digital play around that. So today everything is about digital.
Yeah.
In that particular business, we offer a myriad amount of solutions. But the biggest skill that is required in that business is about architecting solutions rather than focusing on the technology side.
Yeah. Okay, now you've given us quite a synopsis of what your business is and what you stand for. And coming to a place like Doha, now for our viewers' sake, we know that the Middle East in some regard is advanced in certain spaces and certain ways, but disadvantaged in other ways. In your opinion, firstly, visiting Doha and Qatar, are they advancing the technology that you offer, and what type of solutions are you offering Qatar?
Yeah, I think before I get into that, our play in terms of the South African context is about, we want to have social impact. We're a business, we want to make money, but also social impact. And the challenges in the South African context largely is around providing employment. There's the other issues around poverty, alleviation, education, and so on. But that's expanding into the rest of Africa, and in Qatar in particular, is also about extending our reach, and through that hopefully providing more and more employment in the local context. Qatar has been attractive for us simply because I think the Qatarian community understands largely the impact technology can have on local societies. The type of knowledge base that we want to build here is very attractive for us. It's easier for us to engage with the Qatarian government and institutions here than in many other countries. They're open, they've got the funds, they're determined to leapfrog in the solution sets that they provide in smart cities sort of areas, the oil and gas areas, and that's very attractive for us. So what we're bringing to Qatar is not the other two portions of the business, it's really about the IP that we want to leverage here. So we've started with what we term as the business solution side of our offering. And that's real IP. It's taking skills from SA, and in many cases our guys have camped out here for days, weeks and months. So hopefully providing opportunity and backfilling that in SA and exporting some of that talent to areas like Qatar.
Now, you know, there's a lot of development going on in Qatar at the moment. Qatar, we've been to many summits and conferences, and there's this big talk firstly around the preparation for the 2022 World Cup, which is the first milestone. But beyond that, they've set milestones for themselves going forward beyond 2030. From your perspective, would you fit into that, and is your offering something that is beneficial to their future planning? And how have they responded to your offering to them?
I think our offering is well suited for those local environments. So our approach, as I've indicated before, is not about the technology.
Yeah.
It's what is the problem that we're trying to address, and where we're trying to implement a business solution to a particular problem. So it's about architecting that solution.
Yeah.
Technology just happens to be an enabler of that particular strategy.
Yeah.
And that plays out quite well in the context of Qatar. Because essentially, you know, they've got a myriad of challenges, not just in terms of 2020 and managing almost double the population that will be coming through this particular engine.
Yeah.
So they need fairly sophisticated technologies around that and applying that efficiently and a whole people movement system around it. So it's actually exciting that we can be involved in that sort of venture. You don't get these opportunities very often back home.
Yeah.
But you know, the money is available, the intent is there, and what's very, very interesting is that the openness of the local powers is really trying to embrace its technologies rather than being closed to those. So it offers a very exciting opportunity for us to in that context.
Okay, now you know, when one looks at the operational side of Qatar and the population dynamics, for example, of the region, it's a very small country, consists of 2.7 million people, of which only 300,000 of them are actually nationals of the country. So that to me shows that it takes the outside to come in to service a country that is aiming for technological advances, not only in producing their main source of income, their gas, but in various different sectors. As far as technology is concerned, they are already leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the GCC and MENA areas. And I think with your help, I mean, I'm just gauging from the communication, with your help, I think they can even move further ahead with their technology. Mr. Mohammed, you've been here, you've been around now for a few days, and I know that people coming to an area, it's normally very difficult, especially business people. It's difficult to get meetings, it's difficult to set up correctly. I know for a fact that we have a very well-established government representation from South Africa here in the region. How have they assisted you over this last few days on your visit to Doha?
I'm glad you're answering that, asking that particular question. I think it's been fantastic to see the local ambassador, His Excellency President Musa, and his assistance not only to Datacentrix. I've seen him with other players that are trying to get into the market, and the activities created around South Africa. And I think as a result of the input that he's given, essentially we've had a warm reception as a South African company. He's created an environment that is amenable and accepting of the South African sort of entities here. He's done a fantastic work locally, and I'd like to see more of that. It's the potential for SA to move to other countries, and the IP we have, we sometimes underestimate that. I had a conference not too long ago with my team, and I displayed some of the talent that we have. And we only become appreciative of that talent is when they get into a global stage. And we don't appreciate them when they're back home.
Absolutely.
So when they hit success in the US or the UK, then suddenly they recognize, but they've been doing that for many, many years back home. So hopefully we're providing that opportunities as an entity to move their talent to the national stage. So it was fantastic to see the support that the local embassy has provided to our entity and to my team on the ground here. It's refreshing. And I hope that sort of DNA filters through other countries and other embassies in the world.
Now, I know also, I mean, we're on the embassy's database, and I saw you on a photo yesterday. We were signing some documents with the organization here in Qatar, the local government is actually in Qatar. And can you just give us a brief summary of what type of agreements, and with if you need to, with whom you've signed those agreements?
Yeah, so we have signed, and largely we work both in SA and in this particular environment. We partner with a number of entities, so we're very engaging. We don't profess to know it all, and we have partnered with some local entities in Qatar to leverage our competency and provide a holistic solution with some of the local entities in this particular environment. And we've, yesterday, as you indicated, we signed this thing. His Excellency gave up some of his time to be with us at that particular signing session with MOTC. So it's a great win for us. It's a start of getting e-government into this particular country. So it's really groundbreaking technologies that we're trying to leverage here.
Mr. Mohammed, thank you very much for your time. I know you're only in Doha for a short while, and we need to say thank you to you and your team for giving us the time to chat. We also tell our viewers to read about that signing of those documents in our print edition of the SA Diplomat Abroad, the Doha edition. And we'll run a full story and some good photos of these well-dressed gentlemen in the media, which will come out later today. This is the South African Diplomat, and I've had the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Mohammed, the CEO of Datacentrix. The SA Diplomat is the voice of the South Africans abroad, and for those who have our feet firmly planted in South Africa, this is a view of what South Africans are getting up to internationally. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, goodbye.
Ku levantar, basta me las